A big F3 derby win, a goal-scoring record broken, and the craziest A-League game in history. Here's my recap of round 25 in the A-League men's competition. Kicking it off on Friday night, Western Sydney Wanderers 4, Wellington Phoenix 0. A massive statement for the Western Sydney Wanderers, who are coming into some really good form to finish off the season now. And a big win against a top 6 rival in Wellington Phoenix, who are really starting to struggle at the moment. They're without a win in the last 5 games, 4 losses in their last 5, but Wanderers, I mean, the big story coming out of this game was how threatening they looked in attack. Even right back Aiden Simmons chipping in with his first ever A-League goal, a fantastic run and goal from Simmons. He's having a great breakout season. And really, on their day, you get a sense that Wanderers are going to defeat any of these sides in a final series match with the players they have in attack. This is a dangerous side. Wellington Phoenix, as it stands, they could still slip out of the top 6, which would be a big disappointment for them, but a huge statement in this game from the Wanderers. Saturday afternoon, F3 derby, Newcastle Jets 1, Central Coast Mariners 3, a big win on the road for the Mariners, who are now building some good form when they travel up to Newcastle. We, of course, did a matchday vlog for this one, which was so much fun. It was probably my most favorite matchday vlog I've done so far, so check it out if you haven't done so already. But a really solid performance in the end from the Central Coast Mariners. Newcastle Jets did open the scoring early on through Josh Sotirio, but Central Coast Mariners, it was all about Samuel Silvera. 2 goals against the club that he played for last season. Fantastic strikes from Samuel Silvera, Marco Tullio finishing off the win at the end. And a really great turnout from the Mariners fans as well. It was one of the best away days I've been to ever at an A-League game. Really, really good turnout from the Coasties. And disappointing for Newcastle. They were heading into this game with a lot of high hopes after coming off that dramatic late win against Macarthur last week, hoping to get a big win here against their rivals, but they're disappointed once again. And now Arthur Papas has to try and rebuild his side for next season. There is a slim chance that Newcastle can still make finals, but they need results to go their way. But in the end, Mariners too strong for Jets, 3-1. We had another 3-1 scoreline, 3 goals to Melbourne City, just the 1 to Western United. And the big story from this game, of course, Jamie Maclaren becoming the all-time goal scorer in A-League history. He has 143 goals now, jumping over Besart Berisha. Fantastic achievement from Jamie Maclaren, and in my opinion, the greatest striker in A-League history officially. I mean, he's got the record now, and he's been so consistent for such a long time now, starting at Perth Glory, at Brisbane Roar, and now for the past few years at Melbourne City. A fantastic achievement. And it was a hat-trick that was too much for Western United in this game. I thought Western United were really good, especially in that first half. I thought they really took it to Melbourne City. And again, this was a game that Western really had to win to keep a realistic chance of finishing in finals alive. But Melbourne City simply too strong in the end. And, you know, we saw it from City, like they outplayed Western in the end, but were even able to bring on Richard van der Ven and Matthew Leckie, who were returning from injury. They came off the bench in the second half of this game. City will be the favourites heading into the final series to win the championship. A big win for Melbourne City. And then our second AAMI Park game from the weekend saw Melbourne Victory defeat Macarthur 2-1 in a game I called the Battle of the Wooden Spoon in my predictions video from last week. And potentially, it could be now Macarthur who could be seeing themselves pick up their first ever wooden spoon after a disappointing showing here against Melbourne Victory. Victory in the end, it wasn't easy. The goal came late from Leighton Brooks, which was a great moment for the young winger, but disappointing again from Macarthur, who again, similar to last season, are really just starting to fade away now. And for me, are probably favourites to pick up the wooden spoon. I can't see them getting a result against Wellington next week. It's been a disappointing season overall for the Bulls. And then Sunday night, we saw what was, in my opinion, the craziest match in A-League men's history. Perth Glory 4, Adelaide United 4. 3 goals in injury time. This game was absolutely mental. And even before that second half injury time, it was already a crazy game. 3-2 to the Reds. So many storylines heading into this game, not just for the 2 teams involved, but for teams around the table when it comes to the race for the top 2. But 3-2 heading into second half stoppage time. It looked like Adelaide were going to come away and be too strong for glory and grab the 3 points. Zimmerina with the equaliser off the bench, and then Taggart with a screamer from long range. 4-3, there was a chance for my Mariners to jump into second place, but Irankunda right at the death with a superb strike. I mean, he always does it, doesn't he? He comes off the bench and has an impact every single time. Nestor Irankunda is just an incredible player, has such a bright future ahead of him. And this game just had me gobsmacked. That final 10 minutes of injury time, I was just on the edge of my seat the entire time. Crazy game, Perth 4, Adelaide 4. And then finishing off the round, we had Brisbane Roar 0, Sydney FC 2. Brisbane Roar's final hopes officially over after this result, which was disappointing because it was a big game for them returning to Suncorp Stadium. Of course, they're playing their matches at Suncorp Stadium next season, and all of them for the men's team. But the big takeaway for me in this game was how strong and solid Sydney were in defence. Jack Rodwell is really finding some form at the end of the season. He's starting to create a really solid partnership with Alex Wigginson at the back, and at the right time of the season as well, heading into finals. This was a game where I think early on in the season, Sydney might have conceded 1 or 2, maybe 3 goals. They were really focused at the back throughout the entire 90 minutes. Brisbane had some great chances, and there was some quality shown up the front. I mean, when Sydney got forward, they took their opportunities. Robert Mack with a goal, Adam Lafondra also. They have that class to find their crucial goals when they need to, Sydney FC. And look, after this result, and we'll see how they go next week at home to Newcastle, they could potentially be a dark horse heading into the final series. This has overall felt like quite a poor season for Sydney FC fans, I think. But who knows? I mean, they've got some class players in their side. They could cause an upset in the final series. So just one round remaining in the A-League men's competition. We're doing a live watch along this Friday for the doubleheader. Adelaide taking on Mariners. And we've got Wanderers travelling away to Melbourne City. My round 26 predictions video will be coming out in a couple days' time. My name's Lockie. This is Coast Football. I'll see you in the next one.